Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here on the Amalfi coast, and I'm here at Casa Angelina with Angelina Aprea, who's the director of sales and marketing for this wonderful property. And actually, if you remember, we interviewed Angelina back at Central Park back a few months ago, and we said, well, the next time we'll do it at the resort. Well, here we are. It's a beautiful resort. It's really contemporary, and it's a very different kind of resort for me on the Amalfi coast. We're going to talk about this wonderful place and a whole lot more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Angelina, first of all, thank you. We're finally here. It's great.
Yeah, finally from New York to all the way in the heart of the Amalfi Coast. Thank you for staying with us.
It's great. It's great. And we look in the background. We have Positano actually, and then we're actually in Priano, is where this resort is, and it's just a very different. I've been to a number of resorts in Amalfi, but this is really something special. It's right, obviously, like many of the others. It hugs the cliffside. But tell us a little bit about the history of this property, when it was built, and who owns it, things like that.
Of course. So Casa Angelina opened back in 2005, so it's a relatively new property. The founder, Mr. Capiello, is an entrepreneur, very forward-looking gentleman from Sorrento, from the area. And back in 2003, after a very successful business career, he had the chance to buy this property that at the time was what we call a pensione, so a large bed and breakfast, around 60 rooms at that time, and it took him 2 years with a local architect, a futurist architect, Fusco from Priano, to renovate it and to make it into like a contemporary home, like it is.
And it is a contemporary home. It really is beautiful. I mean, there's a lot of the resorts here are kind of more classic, with sort of, they're either old palazzos or things like this. But this is really a gorgeous and a lot of modern art. We're going to talk about that a little bit too, because I'm always astounded every time I turn a corner. There's something fun to look at. But how many rooms does it have now?
The hotel now has 37 keys in total. Over the last couple of years, what we've done, James, is we tried to reduce our total inventory that in the origins was of 44 rooms, with the idea in mind to create larger accommodations, because especially now with the US market being so successful here for us on the Amalfi Coast, we were hearing a lot of our American guests looking for larger and more spaceful accommodations.
So now you have a better range of suites and things like that now.
Yes, we do. So now we can really offer to our guests according to the focus they have. If they're looking for a large terrace with these amazing views, or a more spacious interior accommodations, we have rooms and suites that can really target their needs.
Well, my room actually has a wonderful terrace that you can just sit out there, or you can go to the pool, which is very close by. But let's talk a little bit about how business has been since last year and this year so far this summer.
We can proudly say that the very good business that we started to see in 2022, just after COVID, continued into 2023. I mean, we are performing really well, welcoming so many international guests, and Americans are our number one feeder markets. And we've just finished the month of June as one of the best months ever. Trends have slightly changed. Unlike last year, we are now seeing more last-minute reservations. Also for these peak summer months, we've seen that the bookings are getting very closer to arrival. And another trend we are seeing, James, is customers booking 2-3 rooms together. There's a lot of adult family travelers, or people that maybe want to experience with friends. So multiple room bookings are very popular at the moment.
Yeah, and actually it begs the question, I mean, is your target? And are you looking, I know people are honeymooning here. You said their families here and their friends who travel together, right?
Yes, mainly Casa Angelina attracts a lot of couples. We've got 75%, I would say, of our guests are couples coming to celebrate something special. A lot of honeymooners, anniversaries, romantic getaways. But we are now getting also a very good number of guests traveling with adult children. Just to remind you that Casa Angelina is an adults-only property. We welcome children from 12, but we have a lot of American guests traveling with teenage, college kids that want to experience the Amalfi Coast altogether.
No, absolutely, and they really will love this property. And I do notice, at least from what I've seen, it seems that the clientele seems to be a little younger. I don't know why. But
yeah, no. You've spotted exactly what it is. I mean, we attract many millennial clients. Type of clients that maybe are very much into the type of quiet luxury, barefoot type of elegance that we propose here, unlike the more quintessentially Italian style that is so popular in the region.
It is more of a contemporary feel, and actually, although you got to say, just as we were talking there, you probably didn't hear it, but the bell of the piano is just started going off. It goes off pretty regularly, so it's kind of a nice touch whenever you're sitting here. We're actually on the rooftop, but let's talk a little bit about the dining here, because I was lucky enough to enjoy your restaurant last night. It really was incredible. It was really fine dining, and the service was excellent, and the cuisine was great as well.
Yeah, yesterday, so you've experienced our un piano nel cielo. That means a floor in the sky. It's actually just one floor below the rooftop where we are, and it's where our young and talented chef Leopoldo
who I met last night.
He's a very nice guy. He tries to propose the very local Amalfi cuisine with a gourmet makeover. This year, more than ever, we are sourcing all our products locally, and not only locally, even in our organic garden. I mean, I'm sure you had the chance to see the garden with all the vegetables we grow. So it's really sophisticated in terms of maybe presentation of dishes, but the recipes and the philosophy of the cuisine behind is very grounded to our roots.
And it was wonderful. It was a long, wonderful meal, but there's not much else you want to do here but eat and look at the view, and that is one of the things. You can be out on the terrace and have a fine dining experience there as well. And then you have more of a casual restaurant downstairs too, right?
Yes, 2 years ago actually we have enhanced our casual all-day dining facilities, and so we have a beautiful area by the pool with an open space kitchen where you can also interact with the chef, and that is open all day long from midday until midnight, and the menu changes twice a day for lunch and dinner. You find really traditional staples like spaghetti with vongole, parmigiana di melanzane.
That's I went for the basics for lunch today when we first arrived. I said I just have to have a little bowl of spaghetti, and I'm fine. That was perfect, and so it really was. And that is open for lunch and for light dinner. Right?
Yes, for lunch and dinner, but also for salad, snacks, and it's very relaxed. You can still enjoy the beautiful views without having a formal fine dining experience.
And then the super duper restaurant is open for breakfast and for dinner. So the breakfast, you got to tell you, it's pretty amazing. The spread is really. I mean, I was still full from the night before, so I tried to be a little bit judicious about what I ate. So you have those two. Anything else in food and beverage?
A cocktail bar, which is in the lobby area of the hotel. Again, we 2 years ago, when we enhanced some areas of the properties to make them even more homely, we've introduced an open lounge type of cocktail where we offer an array of course, different mocktails, cocktails, and our signature drink that is the limoncello mojito, as well as
I had that. It was quite good. It was quite good. I actually had that for lunch yesterday, so that was a pretty excellent.
That was really good, and also we have a selection of 10 different Aperol spritzes with our bartender Gian Mario. Every year he introduces a new one. The classic spritz, but with a little twist from the Amalfi Coast.
And it definitely had that little twist, and I was very happy to have a little beverage after my long drive through Amalfi, which was interesting. Let's just say that. And so, Ari, so what do people do here in terms of activities? I mean, what is basically what can people do?
Well, it really depends on what they are looking for, because our average length of stay here at Casa Angelina is around 3.5 nights. So at least one day, a lot of our guests choose to be at sea. I mean, we have different boat options. We have now just launched also a sunset boat tour where you can have a wine tasting with an expert from the hotel. So that's really something they do. Or sometimes they like to explore the little villages. I mean, we are very close to the hike of the gods here. So another activity that is very popular is to go up to the path of gods.
I just heard about this. So there's a trail that goes from above this, and it goes all the way to Positano, right?
Yes, that's right. And we are one of the entrances to this path of God is just very close to the hotel, and we can arrange also for those that are maybe more into a mindful type of experience, some special guides that can take you up there, and you can do meditation. So it's it depends on.
It really was. It's an amazing place. Now, of course, then you can just sit there by the pool. You have a small pool here that you can see. Then you have actually a small indoor pool as well. It's down in the health club. So those two options. And then everybody says, well, can you go to the sea? Yes, you can. You gotta walk down a bit, and you gotta walk up a bit, but the sea is down there. There's a lovely pier and a place where you can jump in the ocean, and there's umbrellas and beach chairs and all kinds of things. But just be mindful, you're going to be doing a little workout to go down there and come back, right?
Yes, because we do have access to a private beach club, not owned by Casa Angelina, but our guests have access to complimentary sunbeds and umbrellas. The elevator takes you halfway down, unfortunately, because we couldn't dig all the way down into the rock. And then, as you said, there is a pathway in the nature with around 200 steps to go down.
I did that earlier today, and I went down, and I took my time coming back up, but it was fine. It was a little rough today. Some days it can be a little rough, so you have to sort of gauge what can be done down there, but it looked like an amazing place to go visit. Now, obviously, the other thing you can do, as you said, is you can go into town, Positano. You can take a shuttle into Positano. Right?
Yeah, we have a complimentary mosquitoes.
I know, now they suddenly found us here, but that's okay.
We have a complimentary shuttle that goes from 9 in the morning until 11 midnight. Anytime you want to go, we take our guests there, and it's only about 8 kilometers, so 10 minutes, and you can go into Positano, have a walk or for dinner, for a gelato, and then come back and find an oasis of peace and quiet. As well as there is a shortcut from the back of the hotel, and you can easily walk around 70 steps, and you find yourself in the little village of Praiano that is very quaint, like going back to La Dolce Vita, a couple of nice bars, something really, really...
I think there's some small restaurants too, so there's some options here, and just within walking distance. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you, because once I got to the property, I didn't know this, but it's that the artwork is just throughout. This wonderful small statues, very modern. Tell us about that, about what's that all about?
Yeah, most of the art pieces that we feature on property belong to Mr. Cappiello's private collection, and for sure the most iconic pieces are from a Cuban artist called Alfredo Sosa Bravo. He's a surrealistic painter. They are very bright, very bold, and they are made in Murano in Venice, and they really are very iconic here because they give such a nice splash of color.
I mean, every time I turned around, there was something new, and I really loved seeing. They're very creative, and they're beautiful, and they're really all over the hotel, and they really bring it out, because you have these beautiful white walls that were, and then you have all these wonderful splashes of color with these statues, right?
Yeah, it's very beautiful, and again, they are really now the almost the symbol of Casa Angelina. If you see us on magazines or store, you find these beautiful bold pieces. They are about 85 in total, spread out everywhere.
No, that's great. Now, anything else you want to tell our 120,000 travel advisors about Casa Angelina?
Well, I just want to, of course, thank them all for sending so many valued clients our way. We do our utmost to perfectly take care of them, and for any more insights or information, we've just updated also our website. We've introduced some special sections written by travel writers who've been on property, and they give a nice point of view with some specific insider tips on what we do. So it's also from another perspective they can get a better understanding of what we do and what we are.
Well, I got a better understanding by actually being here, as opposed to being in Central Park was the last time we had this interview, but to actually come here and see it, it's just extraordinary. You're really right off the cliff. The drive is interesting. You've got to be a little careful. It might be better sometimes to maybe get a driver to be here if you don't want to go through, I went through Amalfi and the traffic was something special, but a little challenge here and there to get to Paradise is not too bad. And then here in Piano, it's so quiet, so lovely, and it really is a different kind of thing. I'm so glad that you invited me to come here and just experience it. And anyway, just what's the website again for Casa Angelina?
It's www.casaangelina.com.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming back someday and seeing all this property. We have 2 nights here. It's been amazing. And then, I love the Amalfi Coast, but this is one of the first times I've stayed here for a long time, and it's been great to experience your property.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much, James. You're always welcome, and I hope that you can come back soon.
Absolutely. So the next interview we do, we'll be back here, not Central Park. I promise you that. But or we'll be seeing each other at a conference again. Thanks so much. And I'm James Shillinglaw here at Casa Angelina on the Amalfi Coast, and this is Insider Travel Report.